properly.
Wait till you're fighting.
Oi! What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Oh, really? You're fucking Joro. Now you're steaming.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the
What are you doing?
Did you see anything there? No, you didn't see nothing then, no?
The movie opens by introducing Richie, a middle-aged British citizen living in luxury in Spain after spending his retirement years as a retired mafia leader. Richie is seen practicing shooting skills. While having lunch with his daughter Carmen, Richie mentions that he misses his older brother Charlie, who resides in England. The scene shifts to Charlie in England, who is discussing Richie with some friends. At the same time, Charlie receives a phone call from Richie in Spain. The two brothers express their mutual longing for each other during the conversation. After the call, Charlie rejoins his friends. A woman named Lizzie, who is Richie's friend, approaches Charlie and asks for Richie's phone number, stating she has been interested in him for a long time. Charlie agrees to act as a matchmaker, believing Lizzie is the right person for his brother, and gives her Richie's number. Meanwhile, the audience is introduced to Aaron, a gang leader, and his girlfriend Lauren, walking on a deserted London street. Aaron leads Lauren into a narrow alley where a group of his gangsters awaits. The gang begins to harass Lauren and deliberately records the act. One of the gangsters, Dean, attempts to intervene and stop his friends but is prevented by Aaron. Charlie then arrives at the alley after hearing a commotion near the bar. Charlie witnesses the harassment and tells Lauren to leave, then scolds the group of gangsters. The gang members insult Charlie in response, causing him to hit one of them. Offended by Charlie's actions, Aaron orders his gang to kill Charlie. The violent, sadistic murder is carried out by the local street gang known as E2. Shortly after, Lizzie exits the bar looking for Charlie and is shocked to find his body dead in the alley near the bar. That same night, Lizzie reports the incident to two police detectives, Susan Taylor and John. The detectives state they cannot arrest Aaron and his gang due to a lack of concrete evidence. Furthermore, Lizzie did not witness the murder directly and only saw the gang leaving the alley where Charlie was found. Lizzie subsequently informs Richie about Charlie's death. Hearing the news, Richie is devastated and makes plans to return to England to investigate the murder. But the situation is about to get worse. The police detectives, Susan and John, approach Aaron and his gang, threatening to arrest and jail them if they are convicted of killing Charlie. Aaron denies the accusation and dismisses the detectives. Once the detectives leave, Aaron instructs his friends to silence Lauren, who witnessed the attack and is considered a threat. Dean, who knows of the plan, secretly goes to Lauren's house. He informs her that Aaron is coming to threaten her and advises her to stay indoors for her safety. Shortly after, Aaron and several gang members arrive outside Lauren's house. Through the mail slot, Aaron forces her to remain silent and not tell the police about the events that led to Charlie's death. He also threatens to kill both her and her mother. Elsewhere, Richie has arrived in England and immediately meets with Roy, one of his old associates. Richie then visits Lizzie to learn more about Charlie's death. Lizzie confirms she did not witness the event firsthand, but believes the perpetrators were a group of gangsters known for causing trouble in London. Richie and Roy then travel to the crime scene where Charlie was murdered. They encounter detectives Susan and John, who are investigating the incident. Knowing that Richie is a respected former mafia leader, Susan requests that Richie hand the case over to the police. Despite his reluctance to turn over his brother's case, Richie agrees in front of the detectives before leaving the scene. Richie, however, discovers that the police are deliberately delaying the case, possibly due to incompetence or fear. Later that night at the bar, Lizzie tells Richie that she found a video of Aaron and his gang harassing Lauren. She believes this video is connected to Charlie's death. Lizzie, who knows Lauren, provides Richie with the address of Lauren's workplace. Richie then goes to see Lauren to ask about the details of the incident. Lauren feels indebted to Charlie for trying to help her, so she agrees to tell Richie the details in a quiet place near her work. She confirms to Richie that Aaron's local gang was behind his brother's murder. Unbeknownst to them, DK, a female member of Aaron's gang, sees Lauren telling Richie about their actions against Charlie. DK returns to the gang's headquarters and reports to Aaron that Lauren spoke to a man named Richie about the incident. Aaron dismisses this information, believing Richie is just an ordinary middle-aged man. However, things take a turn soon after. The scene transitions to Charlie's funeral, where Richie is gathered with his former mafia colleagues and old mates. An old man named Arthur arrives at the funeral. Richie jokes that Arthur is too old to be with them and should leave. Arthur angrily reminds Richie that he was the only person who almost beat Richie in the past. The group laughs at the exchange, and Richie thanks Arthur for helping gather his old friends. After the funeral, Richie seeks out a retired police commissioner named Jack, an acquaintance who lives modestly. Richie asks Jack to help him find information about Aaron and his gang. Richie offers to give Jack some of his possessions for a better retirement life if he agrees to help. A few days later, Jack provides information about some of the gang members, although he could not find anything about Aaron, the leader. Using this intelligence, Richie instructs his friends to abduct two of the gang members, Leroy and Ed. When the two young men see that their kidnappers are a group of old men, they ignore Richie's questions about Aaron's whereabouts. They insult and threaten Richie and his friends. The older men laugh at this, realizing the two young men are unaware of their true, dangerous identities from the past. Richie begins to lose his temper when Ed insults Charlie. Following Richie's orders, Arthur produces a hammer and nails. Arthur drives a nail into the back of Ed's hand. He then takes out a drill and drills Ed's feet. Leroy panics upon seeing his friend tortured. Leroy offers to cooperate and lure Aaron out of hiding to avoid the same torture. Richie's friends are skeptical, but Richie unexpectedly agrees to the offer and sets Leroy free. As soon as Leroy is free, he reaches for a gun to shoot Richie. Richie swiftly draws his own weapon and kills Leroy before he can pull the trigger. Richie explains that he did not trust Leroy, he simply did not want to kill a helpless man. They all laugh again. Shortly after, as they prepare to continue interrogating Ed, they realize he has died from the torture. Meanwhile, Aaron is annoyed by the disappearance of two of his members. He assumes they have been attacked by a rival gang. Still unaware of what's coming next, he continues. The next day, Richie meets Lauren again to seek further help in finding the rest of Aaron's gang. Lauren tells Richie that one of the gang members, named JB, often frequented the local parking lot. Richie, feeling a sense of guilt for involving Lauren, asks for her phone number. Before she can provide it, Susan, the detective, arrives and tries to shield her daughter. Susan, who is Lauren's mother, tells Richie not to involve her daughter in his investigation. The scene shifts to the parking lot. JB sees Arthur alone and assumes he is a weak, elderly man, attempting to bully him. Arthur pulls out a sword, which causes JB, who is riding a bicycle, to immediately pedal away. Suddenly, a car stops in front of JB, causing him to fall. The car is driven by Richie's friends. Arthur's presence was a trap to lure JB out. JB is kidnapped and shown tied and suspended in an abandoned building. Richie once again demands to know Aaron's location. JB refuses to give any information, instead belittling them and mocking Charlie, stating that Charlie looked like a stupid dog when they beat him to death. This infuriates Richie, who proceeds to beat JB to death. Due to the intense physical exertion, Richie's previous health issues resurface, and he suffers a heart attack. He is hospitalized and requires treatment. While in the hospital, he devises a plan to draw Aaron out of hiding. A few days later, Aaron and his gang are seen preparing weapons, assuming they are preparing for an attack from an enemy gang. Suddenly, Lauren arrives at the gang's headquarters to meet Aaron. She tells him that Richie has kidnapped and killed his missing gang members. Lauren also informs Aaron that Richie is currently lying in a hospital bed. During their conversation, Lauren receives a call from her mother. Aaron instructs her to take the call so her mother, Susan, does not become suspicious. After Lauren provides Aaron with the information, he gathers his gang and heads to the hospital, taking Lauren hostage. He orders his gang members to split up to find Richie's room. Two gang members eventually locate Richie's room and open fire on the bed, believing Richie is there. However, Richie and his friends appear from behind the two gang members and open fire on them. But what happens next complicates everything. Aaron, who is in the elevator, hears the gunshots and immediately realizes that Richie has anticipated his plan. Suspicious, Aaron checks Lauren's phone and discovers that she and Richie had planned to frame him and his gang. Enraged by Lauren's betrayal, Aaron prepares to kill her. Fortunately, Dean arrives just in time to help Lauren, pushing Aaron to the floor. A fierce firefight breaks out between Richie's group and Aaron's gang in the hospital. Lauren, realizing the situation is out of control, immediately calls her mother, Susan, and urges her to rush to the hospital. Richie's group successfully kills Aaron's gang members one by one. During the ambush and shootout, Roy, one of Richie's friends, is wounded in the hand and receives treatment at the hospital. Dean attempts to save Lauren and take her away from the hospital. Aaron discovers this and takes Lauren hostage again, demanding that Richie come out and meet him. Richie and his friends emerge from hiding, finding Aaron ready to shoot. From behind, Dean manages to disrupt Aaron's plan, causing Aaron's gun to bounce toward Richie. Richie grabs the gun but struggles to load the bullets. Aaron stands in front of Richie and points a second gun at him. However, the second gun is out of ammunition. At that moment, Susan and several armed police officers arrive on the scene. They immediately shoot Aaron, deeming him a danger to Richie. After the incident, Richie is seen recovering in a hospital bed. Susan visits him to thank him for saving her daughter. A few days later, Richie hosts a large party at a club. He meets Lizzie, who reveals her interest in him. Richie invites her to stay with him in Spain, but Lizzie declines because she does not want to leave England. The film concludes at a private airport. Richie's friends look sad, believing he has departed for Spain in his private helicopter after their struggle to avenge Charlie's death. Unexpectedly, Richie appears behind his friends. He informs them that he has chosen to stay in England to live with them. The epilogue shows the old gangsters preparing to work together to crush crime in London, using it as a form of atonement for their past action. He mentions something they did in 1969 with Charlie, and Roy adds, in Turin,